Hey everybody, Tim and Jordan here for episode 2 of Lower Decks, season 1, episode 2, Envoys. So, kind of like the last episode, we're basically like, I'm the uber nerd that basically, I'm just going to pick apart the trivia, because there's a fuck ton of trivia in this one. And for you, Jordan's basically just going to talk about the story. So right off the top, what'd you think? As the second episode of Star Trek
As
that
the
you've
second
ever
episode,
seen.
coming from someone who is okay with Star Trek, but not like, oh my god, it's a great thing ever. I would definitely say it's got me hooked. It's really, yeah.
Which is good for 2 episodes.
Yeah.
So this one, so I guess I don't, it's kind of weird to say. So pilot episodes aren't usually considered like first episodes. Some people do, some people don't. They're kind of the tester because you're meeting everybody, stuff like that. So this is kind of the first real episode that like we don't say names. I don't even think they say like any of the senior staff's name, like the captain, the doctor. Like you see all of those characters, but they don't go out of their way to be like, "Hi, I'm Dr. So-and-so," and like make it obvious like this is their name. Remember this for the next 8 years type situation. So this one had like a little like teaser scene. Did the first episode have a teaser?
I don't know. I guess we have to go back and rewatch.
Okay. I think the teaser is like him doing his captain's log.
Oh, yep.
Yeah. Whereas this one is them catching the trans-dimensional creature that grants wishes. And it just keeps shrinking. I love that. That was kind of a shout out to the original series. I swear to God, if you watch the original series, every other villain is some like giant cloud that speaks in an ominous voice.
Does it grant wishes and uses up all of its power?
And a lot of them grant wishes, but it's not like the like shove it into a tube type thing.
I'm listening.
I love the whole Klingon thing with like all Klingon names sound the same.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. Like
They all have an apostrophe in it.
Yeah, for no reason. So I love that. It did have my favorite scene from the original trailer with the blast shield.
Blast shield, blast shield.
It goes down and it goes up. I swear, I sang that song for 2 weeks after the first time I saw the trailer. But did you notice that she was eating ramen?
Yes, and it was all over the control board.
Yes, that's his favorite food. So I was like, okay, well, if Jordan was ever in Star Trek, like, there you go.
My character.
Playing with the blast shield. They name drop a ton of stuff. Like the Klingon, I kind of forgot his name already. Doesn't matter. Just throw in an apostrophe and start with a K. That's it. Corrine?
I think it's Corrine.
Corrine.
Yeah.
Talks about how he wants Gok, and which for those who watch Star Trek know it's the hot worms, which Mariner even calls it. They name drop Raktigino, which is Klingon coffee. That comes from Deep Space Nine.
Because they arrive on the planet.
Mm-hmm. Which is funny because like I've talked to him about making like Star Trek food. Like let's have a Star Trek night. And Raktigino is one of those things because it's not real. There's like 1,000 different like recipes out there. You pretty much just make coffee and like you can make it hot, make it cold, make it extra strong, do whatever you want, put it in a pyramid cup and it's Raktigino. Done. They bring up the Echidna chord, which is from the original series, him speed walking, and she's like, we're walking the same pace. Yes, but this like conserves energy.
Yeah.
Section 31 does this, which is a great reference, which evidently Section 31's more public by the time this comes out, because Section 31 is actually like a secret organization inside Star Trek. They name drop the Kaelon, which is the race from Next Generation. That's the guy that fell in love with Loxana Troy and like goes to marry her, I think, which is a good episode. Oh god, let's see what else. They bring up the Janeway Protocol, which like where Rutherford, whatever his name is, like basically he wants to leave engineering just to be with his not even girlfriend. I don't think they're dating.
I don't know what they are, but yeah, he just basically wants to explore other options.
And I love like him going through all the different things, like him like doing first he goes to command where they do the holodeck program.
Do
the Janeway Protocol. All the kids have been flushed into space.
Out of over 1,000 simulations, that has never happened. Let's do it again!
More kids! I was in Star Trek. I hate kids. So we got that one. Basically his storyline was kind of the filler. Like it was the B storyline.
Yeah, it was just kind of like we got nothing to do for this, so let's see what he's up to.
Yeah, because we see him in that. We see him in Medical Bay with Dr. Ta'ana, the little cat doctor.
Yeah.
Where he's freaking the guy out.
I have like an 18% chance that you're gonna die, but it's no big. Oh no, I just went up to 20. You better slow that heart rate down.
What was it? Think about the warp core. That's how I got burned. Oh my god, how are you alive? It's probably why I couldn't. You have been a caregiver.
Yes.
I couldn't do it. No. Especially cleaning up. Same thing as kids. I can't do it.
No, because someone would be like, yeah, I got hit by a bus. You'd be like, oh, that sounds like a shit day right there.
Mm-hmm.
No, exactly what people need to hear when they're healing.
Yeah, see, couldn't do it. That would make me. Let's see, where does it go from there? Let's see, it's the command, it's security.
Oh.
Where he starts taking out all the Borg. And then finally it's so anticlimactic. Like, it's funny. His whole story's funny. But then he's just like, I gotta go back into engineering. And then he tells the Orion girl, like, I'm sorry, I can't go with you. Which realistically, like, everybody loves him. I don't know why he just didn't say, hey, I need an hour off.
Right.
Like, so it was really odd to me. And so she just goes with him to, like, watch the whatever, who the fuck cares on their pad. I don't know.
Well, I like it before that when she's like, I thought you said you were going to watch this thing with me. And he's like, oh, yeah, well, I got to go do something. She's like, oh, it's okay. People always say they're going to do stuff that they don't really want to.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, ouch.
Sick bird.
Yeah.
Which it kind of reminded me of, because he's like, I'm with Starfleet. I keep my promise. Like, that has to be a reference to, like, Wesley Crusher. Because Will Wheaton has said, like, that's the line he regrets the most, is, we're Federation. We don't lie.
No.
That's all the fucking Federation does. So, I think that was a reference to that. I don't even know. Could be reading too much.
They exaggerate the truth.
They're not, no, Vulcans exaggerate.
Oh, okay, my bad.
So we get that one. They name drop, at one point when, Boimer and Marion, I'm losing their names. I'm so excited. Mariner and Boimer, or whatever, are walking. They go into, like, the Andorian area, the bar.
Oh.
And he saves this old guy, and they're like, no, stop, it's a shapeshifter. And he transforms into, like, a little squid, and then he's, I'm a kid now, and then escapes out the window. And they're like, that was a Vendorian. Vendorian is another reference to the animated series.
Okay.
So we got the cat woman from, like, the doctor, who originated from the animated series. And then the Vendorian is a reference to the animated series. So they're really kind of pushing the animated series. Which is funny, because most people don't consider the animated series canon. Like, most people don't, like, they just pretend it doesn't exist. But even Discovery, one of the first episodes of Discovery made a reference to the first captain of the Enterprise was Robert April. Most people don't know that. Which they name dropped the Enterprise somewhere in there. Where they were like, oh, it was that beginning part where he's like, guess which ensign has, like, and they're like, ooh, is it this person? Because they served on the Enterprise for like a minute.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I should have written down the name because I have no idea if that was a real person or not. The Ferengi was great, just because it was a Ferengi. Who doesn't love a Ferengi? We're the humans. And then the part that reminded me of you the most is where, like, they finally find the shuttle, and they're just like, oh, bye to the parking tickets.
Oh, and Boimer's all like, all those parking tickets.
Isn't that illegal?
Yeah, and Mariner's like, what are they gonna do? Bill me in space? Like, good luck.
Somebody who's had a dozen speeding tickets.
Okay. At least 9 right now.
10. You're at least in 10. But still,
10.
If you were in space, what are they going to do? So I love that. And then to me, it was not a twist that she was friends with the Ferengi.
That was kind of, I wasn't expecting it at first, but then, like, so, and because Boimer, you know, he gets all upset because she knows more than him and everything. Mariner knows more than Boimer. So
5 planets sent me a cave, Dick Yeti. Listen to me, I'm always right.
Yeah, right. And so when she was like, that's not a Ferengi, that's a
Bolian.
A Bolian, like, when she
Not
says
a
that,
Bolian.
like, I could tell instantly, she's like, I'm gonna let him make the shots this time.
And that's what got me. Was like, if it had been a little bit, so I wanted it one of two ways. I either wanted her to play it less subtle and then have it be the twist, or I wanted her to keep it overly dramatic, but not make the phone call at the end.
I
wanted it one way or the other.
Well, we both had two different views. I was expecting either A, that she knew it was a Ferengi, and then she was just trying to make him let the calls, and then later on when he's like bragging, like, oh, she didn't know what a Ferengi was, and said it was a Boimer, or whatever, Ebolian, yeah, I'm getting the names confused. I almost felt like at that point, before...
She was just going to get frustrated.
Yeah, she was going to get frustrated and be like, I knew what a Ferengi was.
I fucking did it on purpose.
Somebody was just being a baby that they didn't know what the heck they were doing, so I let him make the shot so he felt important.
For a second, I did think they were going to go that route.
That's the route I thought they were going to go. But then, yeah, she's like, hey, buddy, thanks for helping me out.
And see, that was kind of the twist I wasn't expecting. And like I said, so for somebody who doesn't know Star Trek that much, like, when she was like, that's not a Ferengi, that's a Bolian. I was like, okay, you literally, like, Ferengi and Bolians are both in Starfleet at this point. Mm-hmm. And so Bolians are like that color blue. Like, Bolians are blue people. They're bald. Mr. Mott for the Next Generation crew. So when she's like, that's not a Ferengi, that's a Bolian. I was like, nope, she's faking it right there. Like, there's like, it'd literally be impossible for her not to know that that was a Ferengi. So as soon as she went over the top with it, that's when I was like, she's faking it. But I didn't know she had actually knew who he was. Like, I didn't get that far.
Gotcha.
Like I said, if she had played it a little bit more subtle, like, I don't even know, like, if you could compare a Ferengi to something other than a Ferengi. But, like, if she had just been kind of, like, ignorant on the whole thing, and then called him, I would have been fine with it. But, like, as soon as she compared him to a Bolian, I was out. Like, for you, that would have been the same if she's like, that's not a Ferengi, that's a Borg. No. Like, you could easily look at it and be like, no. So, I don't know, that's the only, like, little trouble. But it was still so funny. It was so great. And like you said, when he was bragging at the end, I was really kind of waiting for that, like, okay, I fucking knew it. Shut up. But she didn't.
You've only been to 2 planets. I've been to 5.
Yeah.
Calm down.
Well, no, he's been to, like, 5 planets if you count Vulcan and Earth.
Oh.
Well, 6 now because they went to Kronos.
Oh, well, there you go.
But I don't know. She's been on 5 ships, which I love that. Where, like, I have the same thing where she's talking to the the Klingon, and she's like, "Oh, we were friends back in the day. We're like the same age. What day?"
Yeah.
It's like, you know, when you're like, I don't know, even if you're the same age, but you have like more experience or you just feel older or something. But I love that line. So like I said, it's 2 episodes in, still digging it.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, for someone who doesn't know too much about Star Trek, it's definitely intrigued me a lot. So,
good. Yeah. So like I said, there's a metric fuck ton of references. Not knowing any of those, like, you still enjoyed it? Like, did you feel left out on some of it, or did you actually feel like it kept pretty good pace?
No, not at all, because even though you don't really... I feel like this is a Star Trek meant for the newer people, because I feel like they explain a lot of things. I mean, if you're like, what's that race? Within a few seconds, you're like, hey, that's a Ferengi.
Yep.
Okay, well, there, I know what that race is now. Got it.
Good.
Or like when, what was the Betazoid that tried to put eggs in his throat?
Yep, and see, so there's the scene where, like, she's telepathic, and when she starts flirting with Boimer, like, I was like, oh, it's a Betazoid, because Betazoids are, like, telepathic, and oh, no, it's this race. I've never heard of that race.
Oh,
like,
okay.
I don't know if they made it up, I don't know if I just forgot about it, because, I mean, there's a ton of races out there, so it's easy to forget about them.
Yeah, I don't even know what this race is called, and we didn't even take the notes for it.
Yeah.
So that's okay.
But, like I said, the Vendorian was in 1 episode of the animated series, and that's it. And, like, that one was enough to kind of, like, I know that, where is that? But, that one didn't jump out at me. And I feel like I'd recognize or at least remember something like that.
Something of it, yeah.
But no, that was great. And now I'm going to, like, post this, and it's just going to be nothing but comments of, like, you're an idiot, it's from this episode.
And hey, but that's what we need.
So that's how we learn.
Yep.
Any other closing thoughts?
No closing thoughts. No closing thoughts today.
You're cut off. No more drinking for you. So for those who have seen it, Lower Decks has been really hit and miss with people, which is probably why I love it so much. Is because I was kind of optimistic, but so many people are just like shitting on it. I think it's nice. I think it's refreshing. Some people have commented how this is a shout out to Michael. How like it's not Star Trek because it doesn't have like philosophy and stuff like that, which I completely disagree. Because I mean, you got the whole like mom-daughter relationship between Mariner and the captain. You have Boimler like not fitting in. You have a person who just recently got a prosthetic. Like now he's part cyborg, so he's like, I wouldn't say he's like he's like the opposite of disabled, but now he is different. So I feel like there are a lot of like people coping with different things and trying to fit into this world. So I think they're doing a great job of kind of like almost like the Orville, where you have like the porn addiction episode. Very serious subject, a subject that has ruined people's lives, but they're doing it in a way that's funny and people can relate to.
Right.
But, like with the holodeck and stuff like that. So I think they're doing, it's a cartoon. It's pretty flat. It's really funny, but I do feel like it has the possibility of really getting into some deep subject matter.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So that's my closing thought. I feel like Jerry Springer. Here's our closing thoughts. Is that what it's called? Or whatever.
Yeah, Jerry's final thoughts.
Yeah, this is Tim's final thoughts. The final thoughts from the Final Frontier. Oh, new slogan. So if you guys saw it, go ahead, let me know. Otherwise, we will see you guys next Thursday for Temporal Edict.